Students, let us discuss one very small act, that is the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. Now, the limited liability partnership is a combination, it's a hybrid structure of both. It has all the features and flexibility of a partnership, plus the best features of the company, the main one being limited liability. So you can say that LLP is nothing but a combination. Okay, so LLP is nothing but a combination of the company form of business as well as partnership. It has all the features of company and it has all the flexibility of a partnership. LLP is an incorporated partnership which is formed and registered under the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. As the name suggests, it has limited liability, it has all the features of a company. It also enjoys perpetual succession, something which is a peculiar characteristic of company. This act came into force on 31st March 2009. Now, what are the keywords that you need to know in LLP? The first is that it is a body corporate. So it has all the features of a company, like it's an artificial person, it has limited liability, perpetual succession, separate legal status. Another thing which you need to know and remember is that the Indian Partnership Act 1932 does not apply to LLP. It is governed by its own act, that is the Limited Liability Partnership Act. Okay, so the Partnership Act does not apply, LLP Act applies. Can you tell me how many minimum number of partners required in LLP? Yes, minimum number. Absolutely right. It has all the features of partnership. So minimum two. Do you know the maximum? Maximum, there's no limit. There's no limit to the maximum number of partners. Now, apart from this, the LLP should also have designated partners, minimum two, and these two shall be individuals. Okay, so minimum two, which are individuals, but if it's a body corporate, nominee appointed by the body corporate will be considered as the designated partner. Okay, so let me write the word nominee. And out of these two designated partners, at least one shall be resident in India. It means that he shall stay in India for at least 182 days in the financial year. Yes, so he must be in India during the one immediately preceding financial year. He must be in India for at least 6 months during the immediately preceding 1 year. Now, what are the duties of a designated partner? Mostly, he is in charge of all the administrative work, filings, communication with ROC. So, let us see what are his major duties. Students, there is nothing much that we can discuss over here because everything is fixed. It is like, you have to study it. I can only point out the keywords which should be there in your answer. Major duties are that if there is any change in LLP, they need to notify this to the ROC. So notification of changes to ROC. In what? In the LLP. Like partner's name has changed, their residential address has changed, so notify those changes. Notify change in what? In the registered office address to the registrar. So did you notice it is mostly communicating to the ROC, registrar of companies. Filing, now another is to file all the documents. So filing of annual return, okay, we have they are in charge of filing the annual return, statement of accounts, and other documents which are specified under the act with ROC. So again, so notifying changes, okay, these are 3 points relating to changes, notifying the changes. So you can write down notifying changes to ROC. Filing of annual return. So these relate to filing. Another thing that we need to file is, so we are filing annual return, statement of accounts, and other documents. Then statement of accounts and solvency shall be signed by the designated partners of the company. The next duty is, so this relates to filing, signing, then to preserve and to produce before the inspector. So if any inquiry is conducted, any paper is demanded, books are demanded. So to preserve and to produce before an inspector all books, papers relating to limited liability partnership, responsible for signing all the e-forms filed with ROC. So before filing, they will also sign. So what will you write over here? Signing of all e-forms. Okay, so that is something which designated partners do. Basically, administration, filing of returns, filing of various documents. Stringent financial penalties are provided if the LLP does not comply with these procedural requirements. Next, we have relation of partners. Now, we had studied in partnership that their relation is governed by mutual agency, but this is a company. They are not liable for the act of the other partners. They are liable only for the act, for their act. So any unauthorized act of the other partner will not make the firm liable. They shall be governed, whatever are the relations, they shall be governed by the LLP agreement. If there's no agreement, then students, very important to note, if there is no agreement, then you will follow the first schedule. Okay, so if there is no agreement, then you will follow the first schedule that will apply. Whatever are the changes in the agreement that will be filed with ROC. Did you notice? See over here. Changes in the LLP's agreement to ROC. So notify changes in the LLP's agreement. Cessation of partnership. When does partnership come to an end? So it may come to an end by an agreement. So we agree, mutual agreement, that we want to stop this business. Or it may be by giving 30 days notice in writing to the other partners. Now, even though the partner has left the LLP, he will continue to remain liable till notice is given to the third party. Notice will be given to third party, notice will be given to ROC. So only when the third party knows that, oh, he is no longer a partner, that his liability will end. Otherwise, he will continue to remain as a partner by holding out. Any change in the LLP, registration of changes in partners, any change in the partners. Now see the sequence, students. Partner will inform the LLP, and then LLP will inform the registrar. So what will happen? Partner will inform the LLP. This is step 1. And step 2, LLP will inform the ROC. So if a person either becomes or ceases to be a partner, okay, so either you become or you cease to be a partner, inform the ROC within 30 days. So first, the partner will inform the LLP any change in the name, address, and any change in that name or address will be communicated to the registrar within 30 days. Partner by holding out. So if you fail to give public notice, you are considered partner by holding out. If you fail to give notice to the registrar, or you represent yourself to be a partner, like you studied in the Partnership Act. So where credit is given to the LLP thinking that he is a partner. Okay, so we are giving credit to the LLP thinking that he is a partner. So if you want to represent or you are allowing someone to represent, then you will be considered as a partner by holding out. And firm will be liable. And he is also liable as a partner. Features of LLP. The first feature is that it is a body corporate. It has all the features of a company, like perpetual succession. I need not explain this because you have already covered this in the Companies Act. It is separate and distinct from the partners. Their liability is limited only to the extent of their authorized acts, only to the extent of their interest in the partnership, in the LLP. Artificial person, it's an artificial person capable of contracting in its own name. It has a common seal. There's no mutual agency. We are not liable for any unauthorized act of the partner. Okay, so like this was one of the characteristics of partnership, that we are liable for the acts of the other partners, but here no partner would be liable on account of some independent or unauthorized act. Yes, we will be liable for the authorized acts, but we are not liable for any independent or unauthorized acts of partner or their misconduct. So in words, no partner can bind the other partners by his act. Accounts of LLP. Yes, you need to maintain proper accounts of LLP and they will be audited also. So can we write, you need to maintain accounts plus you need to audit them also. Then there is all e-filing of various documents. See, nowadays everything is online, so you need to log on to www.mca.gov.in. You just log on to this website, upload all the documents. Then you have conversion of conversion of organization into LLP. So you can convert a firm into LLP, you can convert a private company to LLP, you can even convert an unlisted public company to LLP. Next we have the definition of foreign company. Students, very important for exam. It can be asked as a separate question. It is, foreign LLP is a limited liability partnership which is formed in, the logic is the same, it is formed, incorporated, registered outside India, but it has a place of business in India. So just like you studied foreign company, this is similar. Foreign LLP means it's a limited liability partnership which is incorporated or registered outside India, but it has a place of business in India. Foreign LLP can be partner in an Indian LLP. So if this is asked for a 2-mark question, okay, if this is asked as a 2-mark question, then this is what you need to write. 2 points are sufficient. What are the advantages of LLP? It's an organized business, better than the firm. So I have just given you keywords, pointers. It is more organized than firm. It is more flexible than a company. Okay, so let us write that. It is more organized than firm. It is more flexible than company. Formation is easy than company. Liability is limited. Dissolution is easy than a company. So it is more organized than a firm, it is more flexible than a company, it is easy to form as compared to the company, liability is limited as compared to the firm, dissolution is easier than a company. Now, what is the procedure for incorporation of limited liability partnership? Application shall be made to the registrar. Okay, so everything is online now. You need not go to the registrar's office. You can just file all the documents online. Name shall end with, tell me students, what should I write? Very good, that's so amazing. It will end with the words limited liability partnership, or it can end with the word LLP, okay, or LLP. The name shall not be, what should I write? Tell me, students. Very similar to company. It shall not be undesirable, okay? It shall not be undesirable, or it shall not be identical, or it will not resemble the name of an existing either partnership firm or LLP or body corporate or trademark. Okay, if the central government feels that no, your name is identical to the name of an existing LLP or partnership, then that LLP will have to change its name, and the LLP will then comply. They will fulfill this demand, this requirement within 3 months after the date of direction, or any longer period that the central government may allow. The next thing that we need to make is the LLP agreement. So first we have the name, we have decided on the name. Then we need to prepare an LLP agreement. Now what will be written in the LLP agreement? It will contain name of the LLP, just like partnership deed. Name of the LLP. So what are the keywords, students? What are the keywords? What will you highlight? Name of LLP, name and address of partners and designated partners. What is the proposed business? What is the contribution and interest on that contribution, very much like capital? What is the profit sharing ratio? Remuneration, rights, duties, rules governing LLP. So once this agreement has been drafted, we will file everything with ROC. So students, nothing much to explain. It's just that you need to remember these things. Like in case of company, we had studied that a statement will be made by those involved in formation, like advocate, company secretary, chartered accountant, who is engaged in the formation of LLP, and by one who has subscribed his name in the incorporation document. Very similar to that. So who all will make the statement? One who is involved, engaged in the formation of LLP, and by one who has subscribed his name to the incorporation document. So these are two separate points. Advocate, CS, CA, who is engaged in the formation. This is one part. And by someone whose name is mentioned, who has subscribed to the incorporation documents. Why do we need a declaration? See, this is like a shortcut. ROC doesn't have time to go through each and everything in detail, and they don't know everything is filed online. How will we verify whether all the requirements have been properly complied with or not? So take a statement from these persons. They are anyways involved in the business. They must be having an idea. This is very important penalty provision if a person makes a statement which he knows is false. Okay, please highlight this. These are the keywords. He knows that they are false. He knows, or he does not believe it to be true. Okay, so he knows it is false, or he does not believe it to be true. So he knows what is said is false. He shall be punishable with imprisonment 2 years and fine which will not be less than 10,000 but which may extend to 5 lakhs. So if a person knowingly gives false information without believing it to be true, then there is imprisonment, also fine. So students, this is very important. It can be asked as a separate theory question. The last part, winding up and dissolution. If you want to wind up, it is simpler than company. It may be either voluntary or it may be by the tribunal. Okay. These are the circumstances. Students, please mark this as important for theory question. They will ask you how can LLP be wound up by the tribunal. So you have to write all these circumstances, all these points. You have to memorize them. There's no other way. So if the company feels, sorry, if the LLP feels that it should be wound up by, if the LLP feels that it should be wound up by the tribunal, so LLP decides, that is the keyword, LLP decides. If for more than 6 months the number of partners is reduced below 2, so if the number is reduced below the minimum, tribunal will wind up the LLP. LLP is unable to pay the debt, so unable to pay the debts. If it has acted against the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, like very recently, few Chinese apps were banned. The reason was to protect the sovereignty and integrity. I'm just giving you an example as to what is the meaning of protecting the sovereignty and integrity of India. So like banning the Chinese app was a way of protecting. So then over here also, if we feel that LLP is doing business which is against the sovereignty, integrity of India, so then we may wind up the LLP. If the LLP has made a default in filing with the registrar statement of account, solvency, annual return for 5 consecutive financial years. So you have not filed statement of account or solvency or annual return for 5 years, tribunal can wind you up. If there is any other just and equitable ground, that LLP should be wound up. So students, please note that this is very important for theory question. You have to memorize this. There is no other way out. So concentrate on the words that I have highlighted, and I think everything will be sorted. So that was it, students. That was the last part, and that was the last act of your revision series Prayas. Students, I have put in lot of effort in designing this workbook for you, in designing a very unique way in which we revised law. Finally, we have completed everything. I hope you enjoyed watching these videos, and if you liked my effort, please do leave a comment. Just tell me what you feel after watching these revision lectures. It will mean a lot to me. Subscribe to this channel if you have not yet subscribed, so that you receive many more videos even after your exam. I will be discussing on various other topics even after your exam. So do stay in touch, and all the very best for your CA Foundation exam.